Hello fellow travelers. This is Hiran Gaming. As I mentioned before, I will be doing a video on Mika's improvement to Eula's physical team. So let's get started now. Before entering to version 3.4, Mika's splash art had been released by Hoyoverse. And finally, his skills and abilities are revealed in the 3.5 event preview stream earlier. Similar to Goru, Kujusera and Faruzan, he is a 4-star signature support designed for physical team. The only difference is, he is wielding polearm. Wait, are you sure you are not little boy version of Shinher? As a signature support for Eula, Mika carries Cryo Vision, which automatically triggers the Cryo Resonance when he is in the same team with Eula. This is a good news to players whose Eula has low crit rate, especially those wielding Song of Broken Pines, Wolf Gravestone, and the Unforged. Secondly, Mika's E skill can increase the attack speed of his teammate, both press and hold. He can give a 20% bonus of attack speed when this talent is at level 10. This allows Eula to gain stack faster after casting her Q. Previously, C0 Eula can only gain 12 stacks max within 7 seconds. But now it may achieve 15 to 16 stacks easily. Also, attack speed bonus will enhance the experience of using Eula, as she is a claymore user in which the attack speed is slow compared to other weapon wielder. Mika's first ascension passive. When his press E hits and penetrates at least one enemy, each penetration will contribute to a stack of 10% physical damage bonus, 3 stacks max. The first enemy is not calculated. While to gain stacks when using hold E, the skill must hit an enemy and explode to generate 3 fragments. The fragment will deal damage to enemy when in contact, and Mika's teammate may gain a stack of 10% physical damage bonus, 3 stacks max. It seems quite harsh to obtain the full damage bonus as it depends on the combat situation and numbers of enemies. Also, there is no sacrificial series in polearm that allow us to cast another E. But luckily there is second ascension passive to support it, which we will talk later. Mika's elemental burst. Mika healed the whole team when he cast his Q. Then, every time the on-field characters attack hit an enemy, they gain life points based on Mika's max HP once every 2.5 seconds. This looks like a Combine's version of Jean and Chi-Chi's burst. But the recovery rate is worrying. Though, it is a perfect fit for Eula, since Eula's burst requires she to be on field. And Eula had full resistance to interruption after casting burst. So an off-field healer will be perfect for her. And she can stack her burst safely, without worrying her life points before her Lightfall sword explodes. The second ascension passive of Mika. When the on-field character, who is under the healing and attack speed bonus buff, deals a critical damage, she will gain a stack of physical bonus buff. At the same time, increase the upper limit of the buff to 4 stacks, 40% physical damage bonus. Next, we will talk about constellations. C1, increase the frequency of healing under Q. C2, allow the physical damage bonus buff to be stacked when Mika's E hits the first enemy. C3, increase level of Mika's burst. C4, Mika gain 3 energy each time he heals a teammate, up to 5 times. C5, increase level of Mika's skill. C6, increase the upper limit of physical damage bonus stack, up to 5 times, 50%. And the critical damage of the on-field character under the attack bonus buff is increased by 60%. So, after the brief intro on Mika's skill, it can be summarized as follows. C0 Mika can provide 3 buffs: 20% attack speed bonus, 40% physical damage bonus, and heals every 2.5 seconds. While C6 Mika can provide 25% attack speed bonus, 50% physical damage bonus, 60% crit damage boost, and heals every 2 seconds. For your better understanding on the actual improvements, let's take a look at the following demo. The Eula build in this video is equipped with the Unforged. Attack stat 2452, 50% critical rate and 200% critical damage. 2 set Pale Flame plus 2 set Bloodstained Chivalry. Talent 10/8/10. In the case where only Superconduct and Cryo Resonance is triggered, Eula's burst deals 229,000. Next we will demo the buffs by C0 Mika. First is by eating 40% damage bonus food. As you can see, the physical damage bonus is 148%. Others are the same as previous demo. And here we bring in Chongyun as his passive can increase 8% attack speed. And he can activate Cryo Resonance. C2 Gene have the same function to boost another 15% of attack speed. So the total attack speed bonus will be 23%. Let's go. Chongyun's Cryo application is useful here as it ensures the enemy is affected by Cryo. To activate the Cryo Resonance buff, the damage dealt this time is 290,000. Nearly a 25 to 30% increased. This does not cover the crit damage boost by C6 Mika. Thus, I believe the actual improvement will be greater. Comparing C6 Mika with C6 Rosaria, Mika is definitely better. Although Rosaria can increase crit rate and decrease enemies' physical resistance. But it's not that helpful. Since Eula's critical rate is overflowing with Cryo Resonance. And physical resistance can be reduced through superconducting and Eula's E skill. Not to mention Rosaria's debuff have range limitations. Yeah, Mika is definitely better. In future patch, the popular team comp for Eula would be Eula, Mika, Raiden Shogun. And the last seat can be given to damage buffers such as Bennett, Rosaria, or Yelan. I believe this surely shuffles the highest damage rankings of current version. To conclude, Mika's appearance liberate one of the seat of Eula's team comp. It allows Eula to bring another support who has a specific function such as breaking elemental shield or crowd controlling. The day that the queen regain her crown shall not be far. However, the main purpose of Mika is to act as a supplement multiplier in which Eula can't obtain. Such as the elemental mastery and elemental reaction multiplier. Eula's biggest weakness still exists, which is she will lose lots of damage when facing ADHD's enemy. Also, after the Sumeru version, the physical resistance of enemy is getting higher and higher. Will this mean in the future, Rosaria is a must in Eula's team? So what's the point for the advantage brought by Mika currently? We would never know. May the queen shines eternally. Thanks for watching. Please like, share and subscribe if you like this kind of content. This is Raiden Gaming. See you next time. Bye.